everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 PM Pacific time in the United States, which is midday in Australia or 1 AM if you're in the UK. Do remember though, if you miss the live streams, you can always catch up with the premiere event streams on a Friday and Saturday at 2 PM Pacific time in the US, which is 9 AM in Australia or 10 PM in the UK. Smurfberry Barbecue, Edo, it's good to see you both. How are you? Did you have a good weekend? I like the plant Smurfberry Barbecue. It's coming along very nicely. And I think 25,000 polys is not too bad. I think it's pretty good actually. And Edo is sleepy. Well, good luck Edo with the job with Disney. That sounds incredibly cool. Just making sure that I got the right. It was Disney, wasn't it, Edo? I'm sure it was. But that is incredibly cool. Thanks for being here, Edo. If you're too tired and you want to go to bed, that's cool. I understand. But yes, no, congrats. I hope you get the job. I'll keep my fingers and toes crossed for you. I actually have a friend that works at Disney in the US. I used to work with him here in Melbourne. He's a character animator. So, but I think he said that the job wasn't necessarily 3D. Yeah. But it sounds cool. Do let us know how you go, please. I am still streaming, aren't I? Okay, cool. You never know with OBS or my potato internet sometimes. Edo says, I'm going to watch you while I work on Venom sculpt. Cool. Okay, yeah, I saw that sculpt too, actually. That was looking really good. Let's have a look at the gallery. Remember, guys and girls, if you want to join the Phil Does 3D Discord server, you can do so at any time, whether I'm live or not, by clicking the blue graphic below in my panels that says, join the Phil Does 3D Discord. Only subs can post links in Twitch chat, but everyone can post links in Discord, and there's a gallery section for you to show off your work. No, I don't have a LinkedIn, Edo. I used to, but I closed it when Microsoft bought LinkedIn. Yeah. Telemetry is bad enough in Windows 10. I don't want to give Microsoft even more of my data. So I closed my LinkedIn account down. I used to, but not anymore. But let's check out this work in progress from Edo, and then we'll check out Smurfberry Barbecue's plant as well. These are all in the gallery on the Discord server if you guys want to check them out yourself. If anyone's new to my channel and doesn't know who I am, you can go to my website, phildoes3d.com, and you can read up about me there. There's links to my ArtStation and all that sort of stuff. But this is Edo's work, and this is Venom. Nice underlying muscle structure here. Let me just grab the other link. And let's check this one out. Okay, so we've got the back and the front here of the sculpt, which you are doing in ZBrush. Okay. Nice. That's such a creepy character. That marble character. The character is incredibly creepy. And then we have this last one here, which let's take a look at that one. Okay, now it's coming along really nicely. Do let us know your work. Keep us posted on Discord of how you're going with it. Post links and new images and stuff because I'm interested to see. But it is looking very nice. It's coming along very nicely. Oh, ZBrush. Oh, how I hate that interface so much. You probably, either today or tomorrow, I'm going to be jumping into ZBrush because I just want to do some sculpting on those stairs just to weather them a little bit. So if it's not today, it'll be tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's got to be done. And this is Smurfberry Barbecue's plant. It's looking very nice, Smurfberry. Like I said, I don't think 25,000 polys is too bad. Considering the shape of the plant, you really, to knock it back further and keep a nice smooth silhouette is going to be incredibly difficult. ZBrush is life. Listen, I love ZBrush as a program. It does sculpting the best of them all. And, you know, well, the only other thing that comes close is Mudbox, probably. And I prefer Mudbox's interface, but ZBrush have a better range of brushes and stuff, so. Plus some other nice stuff built into ZBrush, you know, the remesher and all that sort of stuff, dynamic tessellation, that's all very cool. So, just let me close these two things down over here. I should say, come on, guys. You said that to me last time. Oh, wow. There we go. Are you happy, Smokeberry? I'm going to be zooming right in. There we go. Except now it's sort of half behind my head. Let's zoom out a little bit. It's looking very nice, Smokeberry. Better. Yes, I keep forgetting about the zoom feature built into browsers now where you hold the control key down and your mouse wheel. I keep forgetting about it. But no, it is looking very nice. Yeah, getting back to the silhouette, if you cut down the polys too much more, you're going to start to lose that nice smooth silhouette here. It's going to start looking stair-steppy if it's too low poly, which you know, I know. But your texture, textile density and stuff is looking cool. Nothing's stretching. My only concern might be that seam that's running down the middle there. But you can probably hide that if you're careful. Just with seams like that, sometimes if you're doing a normal map, that can be a problem. Because when the light hits it, you can sometimes with the normal map see the seam. So just be careful of that. But apart from that, everything else is looking cool. The only other thing with the textile density is it's not all consistent. You know what I mean? The textile density here is larger than here and here. That could be something you're still looking at, I don't know. It's always best to try and keep the textile density the same throughout the model, particularly if it's going to be a game model. The UVs aren't final? No problem then. I thought that might be the case. But apart from that, they're laid out. Okay. Smokeberry says, I told you all I did was remesh. Okay, sorry, Smokeberry, sorry. I thought she would catch that. I should have known better, shouldn't I? Phil slap for Phil. Yeah, he's just been doing the remeshing. He's still got to tackle the UV mapping. Okay, cool, fine. No critiques, going. But it's a good thing for me to point out to other people if they are doing a model to try and make sure the textile density stays the same. Edo says, I actually have another model I did last week. We'll post it on the Discord, Edo. Pop it in the gallery and we'll check it out. I want to have a look. But the plant is looking cool. I love the design, Smokeberry. It's very alien. Really interesting too. So, yes, guys, if you want me to show your work on the channel, please feel free to pop it into the Discord gallery section. Because I like looking at everything you guys are making. If though you make something and you want my opinion, but you don't want me to show it on the stream, either just message me on Twitter or message me on Twitch. You can whisper me. I can check it out for you that way and keep it private for you if you just feel a bit uncomfortable, because I know some people do feel a bit uncomfortable having their stuff broadcast to the world. So, all right, what are we doing? Oh, that's right. We are, well, I'm just going to fix this up over here before I do anything. We're going to continue working on that terrace. Rotunda, Temple of the Winds. That's what we're going to call it. That's what I'm going to call it when I put it in my store. So we're going to continue working on the Temple of the Winds. It's combining photogrammetry elements with 3D models. So we're not just taking the photogrammetry and using it on its own. We're going to appropriate it into a new design. That's what we're doing. I'm not sure what's going on over here. Sorry for being distracted, guys. Come on, what are you doing? So yes, this is what we've almost finished the modeling stage. We still have to do texturing, and then we're going to take it in. We're going to create an environment for it for the beauty renders. So we've only got a few bits and pieces left for text for modeling. I want to take the stairs into ZBrush to make them look a bit more weathered and old. I want to go through the bars here and make them look less perfect because they were using the array tool or the spacing tool. They're all perfect, and nothing is ever perfect. So we have to do that. And because I want to create like a kit bash kit for this, I also need to look at the terrace and the number of stairs and create little bits and pieces for those. So I'm just going to close this down. That looks cool, Edo. I'm just looking at the stuff you're posting in Discord. It's incredibly cool. Nice. Whose concept art is that, Edo? I'm just curious. Is it from a game that you're recreating the models for? Because it does look very cool. I will show you all in 2 seconds. I'm just taking them in on Discord myself. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, let's have a look at the first link. That's a really cool looking robot. It does look familiar, though, I have to admit. Fire Golem. You forgot who did it? Yeah, nice concept art, whoever did the concept art. But the models themselves that you've done are also very nice. I will show everybody right now. Yeah, really nice model. You've really done a nice job there. Let's just have a look at the link for the back. Yeah, it looks great. So Edo's taken the concept art and recreated the model and done a very nice job. I like the design of the model too. But that's not all. There's another one here which is equally as good. So let's have a look at that. So this is the concept art. Again, nice concept art. And this is Edo's model based on the concept art. Then let's just look at the back. That's a great model, Edo. You've really done a nice job. I really like that. Beautifully done. Follows the concept work really well. Yeah, very nice work. That's the creepiest model as well. So creepy. You're trying to do a model every week? Oh, that's a good thing to aim to do. Because like I said, the more you do, the better you'll get. So it's always a good idea to model as much as you can. And you have done a very nice job. Again, my apologies for being distracted. There we go. You know, I told you guys work always tend to bother me when I start streaming. I should really tell them not to send me stuff between 12 and 2 my time. Although next month you guys in the US, you start your daylight savings, I believe, because you're going into summer. So anyone that watches me that's not in the US, come after the 10th of March next month, my stream will be an hour earlier. It never changes for you guys in the US. It's always 5 p.m. Pacific time because I work on US time. But if you're watching me from Australia or New Zealand or this part of the world, then it'll be an hour earlier after the 10th of March. And then when we finish daylight savings here, then it's going to be an hour early again. So all you have to remember, guys, is 5 p.m. Pacific time US, that's when I stream. Ido says, I still feel so far behind everyone in the industry. I wouldn't think so. I think your work is great. Texturing is important. I keep saying that to you guys over and over again. Now, you can get a job just as a 3D modeler, but it's always better if you can add more value to your work by saying, I can model and I can texture, which is why I always say to you guys and girls, texture your work. It's really important. It's great to be good at modeling, and you obviously are. But I like seeing stuff textured up too. It's important to learn how to texture. You'll make yourself more employable. You know, say there are 2 people going for a job, and I'm not suggesting you can't texture either, Ido. Don't get the wrong idea. But I've seen people that like to model and don't tend to want to texture, and my advice to them would be learn how to texture as well. Because if there are 2 people going for a 3D artist job, one of them can model, say they can both model really well, but one of them can also texture well. The person that can model and texture will get employed, even if the job is only for 3D modeling, because any employer likes to have an employee that is that they can call on if they need to get stuff done. That's the only reason I suggest you guys make sure you texture stuff as well. But I can't fault your modelling, and I wouldn't suggest that your modelling is anything but excellent, Ido. I don't think you're behind professionals in the industry. From what I can see here, it looks amazing. And the fact you can follow the concept art so closely too is really important. Because most times when you work for a studio, particularly game studios or even maybe film, you're given a concept that they want you to work to anyway. So you don't really have the freedom to create your own stuff unless you're super high within the studio's hierarchy. Generally, you're working with concept art. So being able to follow concept work really, really well is a good thing to be able to do. And you can do that. So, and the modelling is lovely. Well, better than lovely. It's amazing. So, what's wrong, Smurfberry? What's wrong, Smurfberry Barbecue? I like the emote too, by the way. They look great. And yeah, keep us posted on the Disney job as well. Alrighty. Let us do some work. Let me do some work. As opposed to being a motor mouth that I normally am. Well, that's not going to change. You guys know that. You guys have been watching me for long enough, know how much of a motor mouth I am, and I'm not about to change. Alright, what will we tackle? We will, actually there's a couple of little things I just want to fix up here. So the first thing is this base here. I'm just going to isolate this piece. And we're going to open it up. And I'm going to collapse this stack. I'm going to throw an edit poly modifier on top of an edit poly. You'll see why in a minute. I want to copy that modifier to the other pieces, so that's the reason I'm doing it. So I'm going to put an edit poly on top of an edit poly. Again, I'm going to jump back into isolation mode. And Ido is asking what project this is for. This is for my store. I have a 3D store where I sell my work. I sell stuff, my models on the Creative Market and also on ArtStation. And this model is going to be going into both of those stores. It'll go on the Creative Market pretty much immediately, and it'll go on ArtStation eventually. I'm still trialling ArtStation as far as selling my stuff there. That's what's what I do. It's to sell. So it's for my store. Just going to jump back out of isolation mode. That's better. I just felt because it's the base of the terrace, it needed to be a bit thicker than the thin version we have here. So now that I've created an edit poly modifier, I can just copy that around. Well, I should be able to. I'm just going to collapse these stacks as I go. There we go. Sniper Echo, good to see you, buddy. How are you? Did you have a good weekend? Always good to see you, Sniper. I hope everything's going well with you. Let's close that group. And let's just copy that around to our others now. Let's collapse our stack and paste that modifier on top. I'm doing really well, buddy. Thanks for asking. Yeah, no, I had a quiet weekend. Didn't get up to a lot. Well, that's not true, actually. I did some stuff online, some web stuff, so. No 3D, though. Oh, did I do any? No, I did do some 3D. I tell a lie. I did some 3D, but no photorealistic stuff. I did some, I'm creating myself as a chibi character, so I did a couple more of those. So Phil wearing a onesie as a chibi character. That's what I've been working on over the weekend. Which was fun, because, I mean, as much as I love doing realistic 3D work, there are times when I just like to do something a little bit different. And doing this chibi character stuff was good because it sort of takes me out of my comfort zone, because I don't generally do character work. And I usually do realistic stuff, so it's important to challenge yourself. At least that's what I think. Okay, do I have one more left? Did I not do this one? Or did I? No, I think I did this one. Yes, I did this one. Okay. Alrighty, now. Now, because I want to create like a kit bash out of this terrace, we need to do a little bit of work on the base here. We have what do we have here? Okay, well, we've got the 3 stairs done. We need to create one which is only 1 step, and then one that's 2 steps and one that's 4 steps. We might do that because I like to get all the modelling done before we start doing a texturing. Once I've modelled the kit bash pieces, the texture we use for this we can reuse for the other pieces of the kit bash. So I only need to texture it once, but I have to make sure everything's modelled up. So, and I don't want to move on to texturing until we've done all the modelling. So it's just more organised that way. So what we need to do is, what do I need to do? I need to grab the base. Oh no, that's going to be annoying. Oh no, that's okay, I grabbed it there. Okay, cool. I was just thinking, I cut this up, and I was afraid I hadn't copied it, but I did copy it, so that's okay. Phew. But I need the decorative part and the base. Okay. This one I did cut up, but we can copy it from this one here, so that's okay. So we need that, and we need that. Actually, there's one more thing I need to do here before we tackle the kit bash pieces. I want to copy this so that we have a border around the very base of the terrace like we did here at the front. So let's do that. I'm just going to hold down the Shift key and drag a copy down. And scale it in a little bit. I'm just going to isolate these two pieces so it's easy for us to see. Just let me undo that. I didn't realize I had both of them selected. We don't want that. We just want that. There we go. Now we can scale it down. And hopefully we won't drop out like we did on the stream last week where OBS just decided to crap itself. No, I think it was my internet connection actually. I don't think it was OBS. I'm just looking that there may be a bit of an issue with one of these here being a bit too far in. I'll jump into my top viewport. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because I think I scaled it in just a little bit too much. I might move it over just a little bit. That's better. Much better. Okay, and I'm also just going to scale it up a little bit so it's just a bit thicker. And again, that's better. Just capsule the bottom of our terrace there. Okay, let's just do a quick save before we start moving stuff around. I noticed Legmog, I think, was streaming this morning. I didn't get a chance to catch his stream. I just noticed it when I updated the tags on Twitch. I was doing some work for the studio, so I couldn't really watch. It was good to see him streaming. I don't know how often he streams, but it's always good when you guys stream. I'm always willing to support and help you guys if you want to stream, and I'll give you a shout out on my stream. So Legmog, for everyone that doesn't know, is a guy that uses Cinema 4D. He's creating a pilot episode at the moment, and he's a streamer on Twitch, so you should check him out. It's Legmog. Kiori as well, who is another streamer who uses Macs and hosts my channel too, so shout out to Kiori. You missed his last two streams? Yeah, I couldn't watch him this morning either, but I did notice he was streaming, so... Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to copy that. Oh, you're not going to tell me I didn't. Oh, I didn't. Why, Philip, why? Okay, so let me see if I can't select all of these. Let's group them so I can easily move them. Alright, so we got that, and we need that. We don't need anything else at this stage, but I just want to make a copy of that, so I'm going to drag out a copy. Alright. Now let's take one of our two copies here. Why I've got two copies of the same thing, I really don't know. I don't know why I did that. Why did I do that? Anyway, let's just take one of these and move it. They're both the same, yeah. I'm just going to copy this one actually. So now I'm just getting the bits and pieces ready for the kit bash. Actually, I think I noticed Kiori was streaming this morning too. And check if that's sitting on top properly. And it looks like it is, so that's good. So we're going to say, whoop, we're going to say that's going to be the one step. Now I'm going to clone it again. That one's going to be the 2-step. We have the 3-step, so we'll clone it one more time to a 4-step. They're not going to want more than 4 steps. And in fact, I'm going to clone it one more time again, which will be no steps. So we've got no steps, 1 step, 2-step, and 4-step with the 3-step here. With no steps, I don't have to do anything. That can be left as it is, except I need to just open up this group and copy that base again. And scale it in a little bit. And we'll scale it up a little bit. Okay. Let's close our group. I really should have done that before I made the other copies. So, is there anything else I need to do before I do that? No. So we're just going to do that one more time. We're going to make copies of no step, 1 step, 2 steps, and 4 steps. All right. So no steps, we don't have to do anything. That one's fine the way it is. 1 step. Let's look at 1 step. I'm going to grab that step here at the front. And this one, and we'll go into isolation mode so we're not distracted by everything else. I'm going to duplicate this 1 step. Okay, what I'm going to do is I want to take these 2 columns as well. Now we can make a copy. So what I'll do with the model when I put it online for sale is I'll have this grouped, the steps here at the front, the small terrace as one object. That they can then use to place however many steps they want, and I'll also have a piece of the kit bash which is me cutting it up for them. Just gives them more options if they want to do something different with it. And just make sure that this is all sitting correctly. It should be okay. Alright, let's cut it up. Let's open up the group. We'll start with Oh wow, I didn't take the end pieces here. That's okay, we'll grab them in a minute. Let's start cutting up the top railing here. No, we'll grab them right now actually. So we must make sure I remember to grab these little pieces here. I'm just going to straighten this one up too while I notice that it's on an angle. Let's grab that. And then we want that.
I was trying to look back. I'm just trying to move in the shadows. Yesterday, tomorrow. I'm searching for a way. I can't tell the difference between you, between me, and search for.
Hop on over the other side.
I can't tell the truth, even though it takes courage to capture a dancer. The things I fear the most, between you, between me, and search for an.
Now we need one over here. And we'll move it into about there, I guess.
I wake up feeling broken. I get up and I lose my devotion. I never stepped astray.
You see the controversy happening with Metro Exodus and DLSS. Apparently it's not looking too good at the moment. Nvidia have said that they're still working on implementing it properly in the game, but it causes the game to look really smudgy. The textures look really smudgy. I haven't bought Metro Exodus. I'm not planning on buying it. I mean, it's an interesting game, single player, good story, which is the sort of thing I like. I just didn't appreciate the bashing that one of the devs did of people that were complaining about about it being removed from Steam. You know, him saying that, well, you know, consider yourself lucky PC gamers, otherwise we just won't release it on the PC. Well, you know what? You know what, dude? That's fine with me. I won't buy your game. If I do buy it, I'll wait a year or so until it goes on sale, and then I'll buy it for next to nothing. Because I have played the other Metro games. So. But yeah, the DLSS implementation is not great. Okay, now we can cut it up. So I'm going to select both of these and the top railing, and we're going to jump into isolation mode again. And now I should be able to see where I need to cut it. I'm going to collapse this stack here as well. And we're going to slice it through here and through here. Edo says, never played Metro. I enjoyed the Metro games, like Metro 2033 and the one before that. They were both good games. But I won't support a company that thinks that they can threaten their customers like that. I think that's pretty poor. The publisher came out and apologised for the dev's statement, which is fine. I mean, the publisher has got more to lose, I guess, because they're the ones that are financing the game and they're the ones putting it out there. They want as many sales as possible. But the dev should have really thought twice before saying something like that. And with all the problems with DLSS and everything else at the moment, apparently it's a little bit buggy as well, which is understandable. Most games, when they're released, they always find bugs after the fact. So I have no problem waiting 12 months before I play it. That way all the bugs will be patched out and I'll get it cheaper. Both things are good. Good that it's cheaper and good the bugs will be patched out. Okay, now we need to remove the bars from this. And I'm just, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just need to be able to see how many bars I need to remove. Let's collapse that stack. And we want to get rid of that one, both, all of these ones here. And that one as well. So we're going to remove those. I'm going to get rid of that. And I also want to remove a couple of the bars from here. So we're going to get rid of all of those. And all of those. Good. Alright, so that's a one step ready. Let's move on to the two step. Just going to move them up out of the way so we've got a bit more room. And let's remove that one as well. In fact, for the two step, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy the one step because that's halfway there. Let's just close that group temporarily so we can do another step. Let's just duplicate. Let's duplicate these. I'm going to rotate it. I could mirror it, but I've noticed Max's mirror tool can sometimes cause problems, so I prefer to rotate it if I can. Just less of a chance of a problem. Let's just position this one. I might move it back just a little bit. There we go. Okay, we've got two of them already done. Let's do the end caps for our railings for the other side. Actually, they're already there because we copied them, didn't we? Yes. All we have to do is slice it up. Let's open the group. Go into isolation mode. And slice our mesh. I'm just going to move these forward a little bit. There we go. And let's get rid of the bits from the middle. Ito says, I remember when games came out complete no bugs. Yeah, I did too, Ito. Those were the days, weren't they? When you could buy a game and it would be bug free. You didn't have to worry about waiting months for everything to be, all the bugs to be patched out before you could play it properly. Because I have been watching a Let's Play and there are quite a few bugs in it from watching people play it. Gone are those days. Now we are beta testers for every company under the sun, Microsoft included with Windows. Just beta testers. It's terrible. I guess the other thing we have to, I mean, I'm not excusing it. We are beta testers, but as games progress now, they're getting much more complicated to, like, they're bigger and there's much more goes into them, so the chance of bugs popping up are greater, I guess. If you want to think of it that way. Before the DLC age, yeah, the downloadable content, yeah, the stuff that they take out of the game so they can sell to you after they've sold the game, yeah. Ito says, right, buy a game and actually play it when it comes out. Weird concept now in 2019. Yeah, that's right. That's why I always like to wait. Unless it's a game that I can't wait to play, I will wait at least a year for that reason. For the reason that they're buggy and you can get them cheaper after a year anyway. So if I've got other games on my playlist that I'm happy to play, then I don't need to buy the game straight away anyway. I can wait. We want to get rid of those as well. And we want to get rid of that. Okay, so we have 1 step, 2 step. Just going to close these groups up. Just avoids me moving something by mistake. So 1 step, no step, 1 step, 2 step. We've got 3 steps, so now we have to do 4 step. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy, let's get rid of that, copy the 2 step. Let's wait for Max to catch up with me, there we go. Let's duplicate the stairs for the lower terrace. And do a 45 degree rotation, 90 degree rotation, there we go. I'm not going to give people the option of more than 4 steps because otherwise it's just going to be all steps. If people want more than 4 steps, then they can cut the model up themselves. But part of my kit bash, 4 steps is the max. Oh wow. Seriously, Philip, seriously? Let me just, I forgot to grab the columns as well, so we want that and we want these as well. but we don't want that. There we go. In fact, let's group within the group so that next time I make a copy, I won't forget. Let's just position this correctly. I'm just going to pull it in a little bit more. What I'm doing here is I'm moving it in so that the base here hits about the middle of the column. So, okay, now let us open up the group. In fact, just before I do that, I'm going to make another copy for the other side. I'm just going to line it up. And let us move it in. So it's not too bad. Okay. Now let us copy these. Actually, I don't need to copy them. I already got them. Good. So we need to we need that one, we need that one, and we need that one. These are getting in the way. I have to cut through the top here, but I can't see because of these columns, so I think the easiest thing to do here is just going to be to open these groups up. So I can select these pieces. I could have done it with the columns, like making the columns see-through, but it's just easier to ungroup it and get rid of them. So when I do my cuts, they're easy for me to see. Okay, let's cut the mesh up. I'm just going to move this one in a little bit. Maybe move this one out a little bit. There we go. Let's cut it up. And let's get rid of the bits we don't need, which are going to be... I think they're these bits here. I'm going to select them and double check before I delete them. Edo says, what's the difference for Twitch between art and creative? I don't think there is a creative anymore. I think it's just art. There used to be a creative category on Twitch, and they replaced that with the art category. And then they broke the art category up into smaller subcategories, like 3D modeling and all that sort of stuff. So they're both the same thing as far as I'm concerned, but I'm pretty sure creative doesn't really exist anymore. It's art now. I think that's what Twitch did, because I used to stream under creative, but now I stream under art, because they did away with the creative category and introduced tags and stuff. Let's just unhide this so I can check that I'm going to be deleting from the right spot, and I am not. I selected the wrong spots. Go figure. Wow. Wow, Philip. We need to select. Let's do an invert. That might be easier. And let's check it again. They're the bits I need to delete. Yes, yes, good. Let's delete them. Edo says, in modelling these teeth so time consuming. Everything can be, doing these railing pieces, even though I used a spacing tool, was still time consuming. And I'm going to have to go through and alter them by hand anyway, so I feel ya. 3D modelling can be very time consuming. Some things you just can't speed up. Okay, let's select the bits through here that we don't want. And I'll leave that one there, but I'll remove this one. Edo says it's funny how people think even rocks are easy to make. Android Lust, it's good to see you, Android Lust. How are you? Did you have a good weekend? It is, yes. Edo's saying it's funny how people think rocks are easy to make. They're not to do them properly anyway. It's not just a question of grabbing a spear and putting a displace modifier on it with some noise. That might get you a crappy looking rock, but it's not going to get you a good looking one. So yes, even rocks can take time to make. But it's good to see you, Android Lust. I hope you had a good weekend. Let's remove those. We're just doing the different bits for our kit bash here at the moment, Android Lust. Okay, let's get rid of these ones now. Android Lust says I still can't make a decent rock. Well, you know, you can you can. What happened there? Did I delete one that I shouldn't have? Let me just go back. I did. Oh, you naughty 3D Studio Max. I'll slap you, Max. I don't want to delete the ones at the back here. I'm just going to make sure I don't accidentally select them. There we go. Euro, it's good to see you. Says I need to join a band or some proper rock, with some proper rock. Oh, Euro. Edo says I'll give you some tech for a rock. It's good to see you, Euro. How are you? Did you have a good weekend? Good to see you guys. I hope you're all well. Okay, let's get rid of these ones now as well. Making sure I don't select any in the background there. That would be bad. And we're going to remove it up to there, I think. Let's just double check there's nothing in the background that I've selected that I shouldn't have. No, I think we're okay. Oh, every time I hit the Windows key, every time. Okay, let's delete those. Okay, looks like I forgot to take the decorative pieces for in here, so we'll do that now. Euro says it wasn't anything super eventful. I'm not really one for commercial holidays, if I'm being honest. What holiday was it? Are you talking about Valentine's Day? Is that the holiday? Or is there some other holiday I'm not aware of? There were no holidays in Australia apart from Valentine's Day recently, which isn't a holiday. But I'm the same, Euro. I don't really go into commercial holidays either. You were late because of a nap, Android Lust. Well, naps are good things. You know, I sometimes have a nap in the middle of the afternoon. Don't tell the studio. For my mid-afternoon nap, I find on my streaming days, I have a late lunch. So I will have lunch when I finish my stream today. And I find after I've had lunch, I get really tired. So I go and like have a nap for an hour. Shh. I'm supposed to be working. This is my work day. So I'm supposed to be doing studio stuff, but they know I work past, 5 o'clock or something, so they're okay with it. So yes, I go and have a nap because I'm tired after I eat lunch. I have to have a nap an hour. Usually I have a nap for about an hour. It's very European of me. They have their mid-afternoon nap. So it's a good thing to have a nap. Ido says, get the general shape, pinch the edges, apply noise, use dynamic with spray tool. Does that get you a good looking rock, Ido? I like to sculpt my rocks. Maybe I'm old fashioned that way, but I like texture painting with the tablet with the pen, and I like sculpting with the pen as well. No, do that, Smurfberry says. Euro says, late because that's normal. Android Lust says, I was about to ask if Valentine's is a thing in Australia. It is. It is a thing here, People do celebrate it, but I don't. Maybe that's because I'm all by myself. All by myself. No need to celebrate Valentine's Day. Which is cool, that's fine. I can be all by myself. I'm happy with that. I like my own company. But yeah, it is a big thing. It is celebrated here. People do the roses and the candy and the cards, It's a real hallmark moment here in this country, like around the world, I guess. Good for the florists and good for Hallmark to make some money. But I'm not knocking anyone that likes Valentine's Day. That's cool. It's all cool. Let's rotate you around. I wouldn't have to do this if I'd remembered to select those when I made the copy, but anyway, it's easy enough for us to put them in. Okay, let's make another copy. Wow. Android Lust says, he's talking to Ido. Yeah, they are nice models, aren't they? Android Lust, Ido's models that he's popped in the Discord there. Very nice. And he's going for a job with Disney, so that's very cool as well. And we wish him all the best, and he must tell us how he gets on. Do remember though, guys, too, and I only say this out of love, and I say it because I don't want you guys to get disheartened. If you do go for a job with any studio, regardless of who they are or where they are, and you don't get the job, don't take it personally. All that means is that that somebody else had a little bit more experience than you for the position that they were advertising. It's hard not to take that sort of thing personally. If you've got your hopes up and you go for a job and you don't get it. It's happened to me. It happens to everybody. There's no one that I'm aware of that decides that has not got a job the first time. Like, everybody gets rejected at some stage from a studio. So I'm just putting that out there. I'm not suggesting that will happen to you, Ido. I just don't want you guys to take that sort of thing personally and get depressed, because it happens to all of us. Ido says, I'm trying my hardest. I get like 4 hours of sleep. Make sure you don't make yourself sick either. That happened to me last year. The guys will tell you. I took on too much work for the studio last year and ended up getting ill. And that's worse in the long run, because, I mean, your health is the most important thing. More important than anything. So it's not worth making yourself sick over. And it, in the long run, was worse for the studio I worked for, because it set the timetable back, because I was not able to. When projects I do for the studio, it's not just me working on a project; it's a group of people. So if I get ill and I can't do it, then that sets the project back for everybody, and that's not good. So don't work yourself sick. That's my point. Android Last says, yeah, best of luck. Yeah, good luck. I'm sure you'll be fine. I don't know what the position is, even if it's not 3D, but you can move, like you said. You probably have this idea yourself, Ido. Even if you're going for a job that's not doing 3D, which is what you want to do, once you're actually working in a company or a studio, it's much easier then to move into other departments. So I used to see it in games all the time. People would be employed as QA testers or like game testers, and then they move on from there into either 3D art or character stuff or animation. So they use it as a stepping stone to move to other areas within the company, within the studio. Much easier to get a job once you're already in the studio. So. Yuri says, I turned down a couple of weapons projects this week, just too busy. It never rains but it pours. It sucks when there is a drought though. Yeah, I feel you, Euro. I've actually had to not do a couple of commissions as well over the last month, because I'm doing stuff for other people and I just don't have the time. So I know where you're coming from, but yep, then there could be times when you don't have any commission work on, and you want some and you can't get any. Such is life. It's true. That's why I like. You guys know I work full time for a studio, an Artspace studio. I do commission work for people as well, and I sell my 3D models online. So I'm always busy at the studio anyway. But in my spare time, if I don't have commissions, then I can work on stuff like creating 3D models. So I can always do something with my time, even if I don't have a commission on. Other times, like now, I do have commissions on and I'm doing 3D stuff for my store. But that's mainly because for you guys, so you can see me working on something on Twitch. Generally, when I'm doing commission work, I don't create my own stuff for the store. But I can't show you guys on Twitch the stuff I do for the studio or the commission work, because I've had to sign NDAs and all that sort of stuff. I can't broadcast it, so. Euro says, yep, I need to start selling stuff, to be honest, get that extra income trickling in. Yeah, again, don't rely on selling stuff to replace your job. It won't. Regardless of what these companies tell you. You're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to replace your job selling stuff online, but it's a really good way to supplement your income. So you can make some good money online selling your stuff, not enough to replace your full-time job though. That's what I'm trying to say. Unless people just don't like my models, I don't know. So yeah, and it's a good thing to do too. Like if you're between commissions, you can keep yourself busy and make some extra income as well. Android says I'd look at it as beer money. Yeah, well that's right, beer money. That's a good way to look at it. Although I've made more than beer money. Not as much as I earn through the studio, but it's a lot of beer money. Once people trust you and they know you and they've bought from you before, it sort of snowballs a bit that way. If you're just opening a new 3D store and they don't know you, then it might take a little while, but eventually people will purchase more stuff from you if you keep making stuff. It's a bit like Twitch. You know, when you start watching streamers on Twitch and you come across a streamer you like, maybe initially, because maybe you watch other people on Twitch, so initially you watch this streamer occasionally. The more you watch them, maybe the more you like them, so then the more you start to watch them. 3D modelling, selling 3D stuff online is a bit like that too. People will maybe buy a model from you because they like that one model. But the more models they buy from you, then the more comfortable they get with you and your work, and they know what they're going to get, so it sort of snowballs a bit. But it takes a while. Like, I've been selling online for like 7 years, maybe 8, going on 8 years now. Euro says, I figure asset store stuff will just tick over in the background. I wouldn't rely on it. Yeah, and it's good too though, because once you have the models on your store, you don't really have to worry about it. Like, the money, people will buy them, and you can sort of ignore it. You can't ignore it, because if people have questions, which they always do, you have to respond to them promptly. That's another way to make sure people, to get people to gain trust in you. So you can't completely ignore it. But having said that, it's something that happens without you even thinking about it. People buy stuff on your shop while you're doing other stuff. So in that regard, it's really good. Andrew Loss says, Phil makes craft beer money. That's a step up. That's right. That designer beer money. Edo says, I want to get my name out there. And that, again, selling your work online is another good way to get your name out there. So not just a good way to make money, but a good way to get your name out there. Get people, get studios and stuff to notice you and know who you are. Because, you'd be surprised how many studios, this is why TurboSquid was created. How many studios need a model for a project? They don't have a lot of time, so they don't want to make it themselves. They buy a pre-made model to incorporate into their project. So, and you'd be surprised how many studios do that. And that's another good way for to get your name out there, because the studio sees your model and thinks, oh, that's perfect for this project we need to do. I'll buy it. They'll remember you that way, and yeah. So it's good for getting your name out there too. Sniper Girl, it's good to see you, Sniper Girl. How are you? I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you're well. I hope things are going well at home with your mum and stuff. Andrew Loss says, that's the goal at Edo. Yes, and Sniper Girl. Let's have a look at Sniper Girl's stuff, because she posted a texture she's working on for a newspaper, and it's looking really cool. We looked at everyone else's work earlier in the stream, so let's have a look at Sniper Girl. Oh, wrong one. I don't want Chrome, I want Edge. I don't use Edge as my daily driver, I just use it on stream. I use Chrome for my daily web browser. But that's looking really nice, Sniper Girl. I must read it. But the texture's looking great. I love the discoloration to the paper. I like the pattern to the paper as well. It's looking really nice. Game dev makes it. I've got to read through these. You guys check out the Discord server, the gallery in the Discord server. Sniper Girl says, being rough, my mum's surgery is tomorrow. Her heart is weak. Considered a high-risk surgery. Yeah. My prayers are going with you and your mum. I hope everything works out well for you. Think positive. There's always a risk with surgery, particularly heart surgery. But you've got to think positive. No point thinking the worst. All you're going to do is make yourself stressed and sick. Think positive. My prayers will go with you and your mum. I hope everything works out well. I'm sure it will. Yeah. Hang in there, Sniper Girl. We're always here for you. Remember that. If you're feeling a bit down, you can jump on Discord, you can email me, you can message me, whisper me on Twitch, contact me on Twitter. I know I'm not there, so I can't offer a huge amount of comfort, but sometimes just talking to other people helps. So always remember that, guys and girls. If you're feeling a bit down or a bit blue, we're always here for you. I can't speak for other Twitch streamers, but I will certainly always try. So, Sniper Girl says, thanks, we'll find out tomorrow. Good, if needed you will, good. Yeah, I mean it. I mean, I do genuinely mean it, guys. If you have an issue, look, I'm no psychiatrist or psychologist, or I'm just a guy on Twitch who considers you guys to pop into my stream friends. So if there's any way I can help, I'm happy to try. Even if it's just a shoulder you can vent to. Always remember that. But this is looking really good, Sniper Girl. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love the texture. It looks great. And I think you were saying you're going to... this was done in Substance Painter, by the way, as well. You're thinking faded lettering, that's so far... duct tape. You said that there'll be duct tape going where the pages... Yeah, duct tape would look cool. The texture is looking great. Duct tape will just be the icing on the cake. It'll look really cool. I love it. Looks great. Okay. Let us close these groups up. Actually, just before I do that, I need to cap these end pieces too. Did I forget to do that on all of them? Just let me have a look. Yeah, I did forget to do it on all of them. Okay. Let's start with this one. It's cut, so all we need to do is move them into place. It's not a big deal. So let's just grab these and copy them over. Android Lost says, yeah, I hope she does well. Yeah, we all do. We all hope she does well. It's like I was telling you guys the other day, a good friend of mine who I've known for, must be going on probably 15, 16 years now, may need to have a stent put in his heart. And that's freaking him out a little bit. Anytime it's heart stuff, it's always a concern. I'll jump back into my top viewport to make sure these things are straightened up. Let's make a copy for the other side. Let's pull this one forward. Okay, that's the one step done. Let's move it up to the next one. Euro says, honestly, medicine has come a long way so far in the past decade. Stents are seen more as a small procedure. My cousin had one put in a couple of years back and was out the same day. Yeah, I've heard that too. Although he did say to me that he may need me to come with him because they don't let you go from the hospital unless on your own. You need someone there. It's like a got a colonoscopy. I went with a friend of mine who had one of those done, and they won't let you have the procedure unless you've got someone with you that can take you home. So he's asked me to go with him when he has the stent done. And we need to cut this out as well, but we'll do these first. But you are right, medicine has come a long way. So try not to stress too much, Sniper Girl. Thanks, Sniper Girl. Well, these are parts of the kit bash that we're doing now. So we have our main 3-step terrace here, which is the one that I'm going to use to do the beauty renders. And these ones are just for people that want no steps, 1-step, 2-step or 4-step. So just part of the kit bash that I'm sort of working on. Because I want to get all the modelling done before we start doing the texturing. Because once we texture this bit up, the same texture is going to be used on the others anyway. So once we have all the model pieces done, we do the texturing, and then it's just copied over to every other piece of the kit bash. But I want to sort of get the modelling done, then I'm going to do the texturing, and then we're finally going to do the beauty renders. In that order. Just making sure my railing here is cut and doesn't disappear inside of the column. That would be bad. That would not look good. Euro says, yeah, my cousin was the same. Got chauffeured for the day. Yes, that's what I will be doing when my friend goes in to have the stent put in. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Why do I always hit the wrong buttons, guys? If it's not the Windows key, it's the Action Center here. Ito says, man, that notifications scare me every time. They do, don't they? When the notifications pop up here in Windows in the corner, they can freak you out. They make that ding sound as well. I'm just checking through Discord here. Again, remember guys, if you are joining the Discord, and I see you joined Euro, which is good. Good you jumped on Discord. Euro says, that damn Windows key, my keyboard has a toggle. So does mine, has a toggle to lock it, so glad. I have that too. I have a ducky keyboard, mechanical keyboard, and I have a key here that blocks it too. I just don't turn it on. I don't know why I don't turn it on. I should, because I hit it too much. And I don't use it, apart from, in everyday use, I never use the Windows key. Why would you? I mean, when you can come down with your mouse and hit the button, why would you use the key? So I've got to lock mine too. I have no excuse. I've got the thing, my keyboard can lock it. I've got to turn that on. Because I hit it way too much. Yeah, I don't really understand why it was even put on a keyboard. I don't see the use for it. I don't get it. Why is it there? Euro says, I actually use keybinds in Windows more than a mouse. It's Peter when doing 3D stuff though. Smurper says, oh, you use it constantly. So you lie, Smurper. Do you really use it constantly? You use the Windows key constantly. Why? Explain to me why. Yeah, get out of here. You knew it. No one uses the Windows key. It's a useless key on the keyboard. I don't know why it was put there. And I must remember to turn the lock on so I don't keep hitting it. Euro says, so we can hit Win plus L and lock the computer when the boss comes by. That's possibly true, knowing Smokeberry Barbecue. Smokeberry says, start menu sniping tool. Smipper says opening the run dialog. Locking. Well, I don't see the need for it, and I'm going to turn it off on my keyboard after the stream because I'm so sick of hitting it. In fact, I might do it while I'm on stream. I've just got to remember how to do it. I think is it the function button? Let's see if I don't. Let me save my file here before I start hitting keys, and I don't know what I'm doing. Because, you know, I'd hate to sort of close Max down without doing a save. But I want to turn it off because I'm sick of hitting it. I want to hit the Alt key and I hit the Windows key, and I do it all the time. Apart from that, I never use it, so there's no point for me to have it. Come on, Max, hurry up. Learn to keyboard. What are you saying, Smurper? You want to slap? Come on, Max, hurry up. Sniper Girl says, Phil does story, it's Alt F4. Oh, not on my ducky, it's not. On my ducky, it's F10 to lock the Windows key, and I think it's function F10. Yes, it is. There you go. I'm hitting the Windows key. Can you hear it? And it's not popping up. So yeah, on the ducky keyboard, it's function and F10. What's Alt F4? What do you? What? Is this going completely over my head? Fight me. Edo says modeling these teeth is making me even more sleepy. Euro says my keyboard has its own button for it above the F keys. Mine doesn't. The ducky, it's actually part of the F10 key. The function 10. Alt F4 closes the. Oh, you're so lucky! I didn't take your. You get a slap for that, Sniper Girl. That is so cheeky. If I had done that, wow. Actually, Max would have told me. Max, when you close the program, if you haven't saved, it actually reminds you. Most programs do. So cheeky. Wow. Okay, let's keep going here. Got those ones. Let's move on to the forceps, which is the last one for our little end caps. Actually, maybe the stink eye would have been better than the slap. Yeah, let's do the stink eye. Sniper Girl says, I knew you saved. Reason I said, yeah, I know. And like I said, Max would warns you if you try and close the program down and you haven't saved. It says, would you like to save? So it wouldn't have been a big deal anyway. You're just being cheeky and I'm just being cheeky. Because there's nothing wrong with being cheeky. The world's way too serious, so... Edo says, I only finished 5 teeth. Well, 5 teeth is better than no teeth, Edo. And I've said this, I haven't said it for a while, but enjoy what you do. Don't try and get it done as quickly as possible unless you're under a deadline or something. Take the time to enjoy what you're doing. You know, stop and smell the roses, as they say. If you enjoy it, then enjoy it. Take your time and enjoy it. Don't try and get it done as quickly as possible unless you have to. And that's my motto anyway. I like what I do and I like taking my time because it's enjoyable. Edo says I'm on a deadline. Well, if you're on a deadline, that's a different thing. Yeah, if you're on a deadline, then I get it. It's less enjoyable, more stressful. And you can't afford to stop and smell the roses, as they say. And all those other cliches, like it's the journey, it's not the destination, all that sort of stuff. Which is true, but it's a cliche. Unless you're on a deadline, in which case it's do it as quickly as you can or you're going to get in trouble. It's due on Wednesday. Wow. You better pull your finger out then. You've only got a couple of days. You cry now, Edo? Sniper Girl says, oh wow, you'll get it. You will get it done. Don't stress. You'll get it done. Yeah, you will. You'll be fine. As long as you don't slack off. It can be hard sometimes to judge a timeline, like that's what project managers are there for in studios, to sort of work out how long something's going to take and tell the bosses and stuff. Because things can always take much longer than you think, particularly programming. Programming is terrible. Art can be too. 3D modeling or texturing or animation, all the same. You think in your head, oh, I can get this done in, a week, and it ends up taking 2. And Android Lust says, due Wednesday, no more sleep for you. Sniper Girl says, yeah, do Android sleep. Euro says, how much teeth you got left to do? Android Lust says, we recharge. I think he's got a whole mouthful of teeth to do. Okay, just a couple more here left for these end pieces. Let's rotate this one around. And Euro says programming can be terrible, however, like 3D, once you've done something similar a few times, it becomes second nature and easier to think outside that illustrious box. Well, that is true. I've noticed with programming, because you guys know I've done a little bit in the past, because I used to be in web development. You can run into bugs in programming code that you don't anticipate, and debugging it can take a lot longer than you think. At least that's what I found. Maybe I just wasn't maybe I'm just not a great programmer. But art is the same. Doing 3D, doing animation, any of that sort of stuff, it can take a lot longer than you initially thought. Because sometimes maybe you can run into a problem with something, whether it's texturing or modeling that you didn't anticipate. Euro says 500 error without PHP debuggers enabled. White screen of death. Love PHP. Love it. Seriously, I do. I love PHP as a scripting language. It's great. I can't stand Java. I hate programming anything in Java. I find Java annoying, but I do like PHP. I'd really like to be able to program in C#. No, Java. I like JavaScript, Euro, but I don't like Java. So, Java, I love. Sorry, JavaScript, I love. Java, I detest. Which really irks a friend of mine who's a software engineer, because he loves Java. And I can't stand it. But I love PHP. PHP is great. Yeah, they are completely different, Euro, I know. Edo says, I only know C# from building a game in Unity. Well, you know more than I do. I'd love to be able to program more in C#. Love to. It's such a good skill to have as a programmer. If you can program in C# or C++, either of those. Neither of which I'm great at. unfortunately. So good for you, Ito, you know more than I do. Euro says, oh yeah, Java is terrible in my opinion. People making user interfaces in it when the language is only ever intended for console output. Yeah, that's true. Sniper Girl says, I did a little C# in school, haven't really touched it since. It's a great skill to have, being able to program in C#. It will make you incredibly employable. It's used everywhere, in every industry. Like the friend of mine that knows C++ and C#, he works in telecommunications, mobile telecommunications type stuff, and he's in demand. It's nice to be in demand. I'm not in demand for my programming because I don't know C#. Euro says C# is pretty easy to pick up if you're familiar with PHP, which I am. PHP, a lot of these skills will transfer over. They're all C-based languages. That is true. That is true. Yes, but it's not always as easy as that. I find, even though I know PHP, I've used PHP, I love it. Using Java, which is similar to PHP, I find much more difficult, and I've tried C# and I find that even more difficult again. I don't know why. You are right, they are all very similar in the way that they work. Maybe it's just a mental thing for me, I don't know. And I don't get a lot of opportunity to program much anymore now that I do 3D stuff. Which is a shame because I don't mind programming, I think it's fun. Not as much fun as doing 3D, but it's fun. Or it can be. Sniper Girl says, I'd hate to be a programmer. This friend of mine who's a software engineer can't stand it. He hates programming. And he's great, he's good at it. And he earns a good living from it, but he hates it. Euro says, I learned Plus and I'm learning more C#. I find it's easier to learn when you're working on something fun, so I made a few apps in Unity. That's true. I've created I've used MaxScript here, which is built into Max's scripting language, to create some plugins for Max. Stuff like that plugin I give away on my website that converts plants from EonView from SpeedTree, so you can use them in EonView. I've been thinking about making a plugin so I can take my models from Max and send them over to Mari, because there doesn't seem to really be anything available for that. We'll see how we go. We'll see how much time I get. That's the problem. Android Lost says, I hated programming, just kill me instead. The last studio I worked at, Game Studio, I think I've told you guys, I had to do a DirectX shader, create a DirectX shader in code for that Mad Max game, and man, that was a nightmare. I was tearing my hair out. I hated every minute of that. Every minute. It was torture. Torture. Wow, I hated it. So I feel you, Android Lost. Sniper Girl says, honestly feel the same way. Euro says, yeah, I prefer 3D, but to get anywhere with your own ideas these days, it's pretty much essential. That is true. And the reason, it makes you more employable, because I've worked as both 3D artist, environment artist, and technical artist, and being able to work as a technical artist is really in demand. Because you have to know both the artistic side as well as the programming side. You have to be able to do both, so it makes you much more employable. At least that's what I found. Technical artist people are usually pretty much always in demand. I'm just going to close these groups up. I must remember I have to cut these sections out here, so let's do that. Select that, jump into isolation. Actually, I'm going to need to select them all, aren't I? Let's open this central group up. And let's slice our mesh. So we want to cut it. Oh, really? Will it be forgot to put the columns in? That's okay. I should be able to guess it. I'll guess it. I'm going to cut it through here. Cut it through here. We want to cut it through here and through here. And we'll do these two. I'll do these two. I'm going to mute my mic while I cough, guys. More coffee, that's what I need, more coffee. Euro says technical artist, the pipeline tool guy. Yeah, pretty much. Although I find pipeline tools, that's true. They use you to create stuff to incorporate into the studio's pipeline. But I also found that a lot of the times you get a lot of questions from the art department about how to do things as well. Oh, wrong one. So not just the technical aspect, but actually art problems as well. The artists might have creating something, you know. Okay, let's have a look here. Alright. I'm just going to unhide everything so I can check if we've caught everything or not. Looks like I may not have caught something there. This one will be okay, or maybe not. So annoying. Well, we can remove those bits, like this one here, it's not correct. Android Lust says, when I had to do programming in school, the only thing that went through my mind was please work, please. It's a bit like that, isn't it? Cross your fingers and toes and hope it works. Yep. Trust me, that's how all programmers generally think. After they've created their code, it's like, oh, please work, please work. And then when it doesn't, it's oh shit. Now where's the problem? I've got to go through this code line by line to try and work out where the problem is. Okay, I think that's all of it. I'm just making sure I don't have any selected here before I do a delete that I shouldn't. No, that looks good. Let's get rid of it. Okay, and the other thing we have to fix is these decorative pieces here. We don't want them going inside like that. Euro says, I knew one guy who just makes extensions, plugins and prefab generators for the suites his company uses. Yeah, each studio is going to have a different need for their technical artists, and it can change based on day to day, really. You're sort of like you said, the go-to guy for problems, the technical artist, pretty much. Ito says, creating chaining if statements. Yes, if this, then this, if this, then this, if this, then this, else this. Okay, so we want to get rid of the decorative pieces that are inside here. We don't want that. So let me open this group and we can start removing pieces that shouldn't be there, like that one there. And these ones. This was why I didn't attach them prior to now, because I knew I'd have to go through and remove parts of them. So, but once we've actually gotten rid of the bits we don't need, then I can do an attach on all of them. Okay. Let's just close that group. And let's work these ones by opening that group. Nero says cascading ifs. There are prettier ways to write code, but sometimes it's the only way. Yeah. Let us get rid of these ones now. We don't want them. Okay, let's keep going around while we've got that ungrouped and do the others. So we don't want that one. Going to get rid of that too because we don't want that. And I think we have one in here as well, hidden sort of amongst the, yep, under the column. We don't want that one there either. And we don't want that one either. Okay. Alright, let's close that group and do the others. Just need to open this group up. Get rid of that while we're here. Let me just undo that in case I deleted something I didn't mean to. I was too quick on hitting the delete key and not knowing what it was I had selected. That's bad. Come on, Max, don't do this. There we go. Too quick with the delete button. Okay, that one is done. This one. Do we have one in? Yeah, we do. We have one in here as well. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's close that group up. And we can close this group up. Alright, so it's the 4 steps done. I don't think there's anything left that I need to do for this one. We'll swap out the steps once we've modelled them up a bit more in ZBrush. That's an easy swap out. But apart from that, I think everything gets fine, everything gets capped. The central part won't change. So they'll just take that whole piece and pop it on top here as part of the kit bash. Let's do the 2 steps though. Sniper Girl says, is Max behaving for you this time? Yes, yeah, no, it's behaving. Yura says, wow, first time my internet dropped in 6 months. I'm still streaming, aren't I, guys? You can still hear me and see me, can't you? As far as I can see, everything's fine. Android Lost says, lucky Euro, it's almost daily for me. And Euro says, I couldn't bear daily drops. Yeah, no, my internet, potato internet in Australia, so it's potato. It's, you know, it's not great. This is a new provider I'm using now from when I first started streaming as well, so we did drop out at like an hour and a half into my stream last week. We lost connection. I don't know why. It was either OBS or it was my potato internet. But I found this new provider that I'm using now is 10 times better than the old provider I was using. That was terrible. My net used to drop out almost daily as well. So I feel, yeah, Android Lost. The stream is fine, my internet just, okay, cool. The only reason I said that and I was paranoid, I'm looking at OBS and it's all in the green, was because, yeah, last Tuesday's stream, an hour and a half in, my internet cut out and I had to reconnect. Generally it's been pretty good, but yeah, it did happen last week, so it's got me paranoid now. God knows how long I was sort of chatting away here to thinking I was streaming and no one was watching, no one could watch me. Sniper Girl says, you're pretty lucky. I have small town net, and Android DOS says, well, 3D doesn't require much internet. And Euro says, small town, I think there's 8k people in this town. Sniper Girl says, you have a decent net, lucky you. Android DOS says, 8,000 people, you almost live in a village. Euro says, yeah, we've got good internet. Faroe Islands internet backbone goes through here, so we piggyback on it. Wow, Sniper Girl says the town that she lives in has a population of 701 people. Wow. Well, I live in a city of 5 million people, just for comparison. Everybody must know everybody else, Sniper Girl. 701 people. I used to live in Queensland on the Sunshine Coast in a little town called Noosa. Noosa probably have about that many people as well. Not a lot. It's a tourist town. And it was nice if you like the beach and all that sort of stuff. I don't particularly like the beach. I like the beach, I don't like the smell. Because the sea stinks. That's the nicest way for me to put it. It stinks. So while I enjoyed living on the beach, I didn't enjoy the smell of the beach. But maybe that's just me being strange. And it was too small for me too. I don't. There wasn't work or anything in that small town. I had to move to a city. This was years ago, by the way. I've lived in Melbourne, where I live now, for many years. Girl says, not really. Only lived here for 2 years and looking at moving back out soon. Android Lust says, live in a city with 56,000 people and I thought that it was small. Euro says, Google tells me 8,500 in my town. There are approximately 22,000 people in this island archipelago. Android Lust, what's your internet upload and download speeds? Is asking Euro and Sniper Girl. Sniper Girl is telling Android Lust it's shitty. Not sure. And Euro says 80-20 megabits a second. Although there are some places here with fibre to the premises, and I think they are 100-100. You guys know I'm still waiting for my fibre connection because the Australian government have created something called the NBN, which is the National Broadband Network, which is supposed to be for every Australian to use. I was supposed to get my connection hooked up to my apartment in 2017. Now we're in 2019 and it's due to be hooked up in a couple of months, so they say. We'll see. And that is, it's not actually, some people in the country get fibre to the premises, in which case it's, I believe it's 1,000 to 300, I think. So a gigabit download, 300 megabits upload. I'm not slated to get that. The government said it's too expensive to do that for every house in Australia. I'm getting what they call HFC, which is hybrid fibre coaxial, and that is 100 download and 40 megabits a second upload. That's what it's supposed to be, whenever it's connected, if it's ever connected. So, Sniper Girl says, I don't stream for a reason. I had decent net, I'd stream. Android Lost says 80-20 is way better than what I have. I have 6 down and 0.2 up. Wow. Listen, I was on ADSL prior to this, me switching providers, and I was getting about 10 megabits a second download and about 0.8 upload. So I feel your pain, Android Lost. Sniper Girl says the closest city is, as they call it, has 26,000 population, live in a small farm town. That sounds lovely. I'd love to live out in the country, Sniper Girl. That sounds beautiful. All that fresh air and space, as opposed to being crammed into inner city. Edo says ping milliseconds 19 download megabits per second, 368.45 upload megabytes per second, 472 that's pretty good. Geez, Edo, that's great. Wow, you got 368 download and an upload of 472. Wow, I wish I had internet like that. Euro says I don't stream often anymore because work and client privileges takes precedence. Yeah, so Edo, I wish I had your internet. I want your internet, Edo. Give it to me. If only my internet were like that. Sniper Girl says, I hate it. I love walking around. Can't really do that here due to how spread out things are. I'd love it, Sniper Girl. I think the idea of living in the country and having all that space and fresh air and sounds wonderful. I live in Melbourne, as you know. It's got a population of about 5 million people. I live in a city suburb in an apartment. So I just feel constantly crammed. Crammed in. They cram people in here. So it just sounds beautiful to me to have fresh air, space, country. That sounds like a dream. Well, you guys know I go to my escape once every year, about the middle of the year, to my cabin in the woods, because I just have to get away from everything. I like the open spaces. Edo says I'm in Columbus. It's a high business area. Android lost prior to getting fibre to the curb. I had crappy ADSL. that I was lucky I'd stay stable at, 12 megabits down. It was more like a flaky 5 megabit down and only 512 kilobits a second up. It sucks, so I can appreciate your situation. Where are you, Euro? You're talking about fibre to the curb. Are you in Australia or New Zealand? Just curious, because we have fibre to the premises, HFC and fibre to the curb in this country in Australia. Euro says, I used dial-up for years prior to DSL. Sniper Girl says, just did a speed test, 3.5 down and 2.45 up. Wow. Yeah, that's not great. Just as well we have transcoding on the stream, guys, isn't it? Because I stream at 5,000 kilobits a second. Half you wouldn't be able to watch. But we have transcoding, so you can knock my stream back to match your internet connection, thank God. Euro says, yes, Phil, the sea stinks. more the seaweed, yeah, but you can have one. You can't have one without the other. That's true. Oh, you're in Scotland, Euro. Okay, cool. I was curious because, yeah, we have fibre to the premises, FTTP, HFC, which is hybrid fibre coaxial, and fibre to the curb, FTTC. And so I was just curious because, yeah, I thought... But I'll be getting HFC, unfortunately. Fibre to the premises is the 1 gigabit connection, but the government said it's too expensive and I'm not getting it. They're giving me second-rate HFC cable. If I ever get it. I won't hold my breath. This is the government we're talking about. Everyone knows how incompetent governments are around the world. Andrew Loss says, fresh air in country is all I see. Faster internet is better than country air. I want both. I want fast internet and I want country air. Can't I have both? Sniper Girl says, yeah, honestly, there's a lot of streams I can't watch. Yeah, I would have thought so. Must bear that in mind. Or anyone thinking about streaming on Twitch, do bear that in mind too. Don't stream too high if you don't get transcoding. But that's the reason I start and stop my stream at the beginning, to make sure I get transcoding, because I know a lot of you guys can't watch me at source, which is 5,000 kilobits a second because of your internet. That's why I always make sure we try and get transcoding for the stream so you can knock it back. Android Lost says, in a way I would like your internet for the upload speed. To Sniper Girl. Sniper Girl says, I was in the Navy, was out 6 months out of the year for 5 years. I don't like the sea. I don't like the smell. I just don't like the smell. I like the look of the sea. I don't like the smell of the sea. Euro says, yeah, I want fibre to the curb. If I get that, I'm buying a UPS, a big one. Yeah, I'd like fibre to the curb too, but they've told me HFC for me, which is fine. That means I'll get 100 megabits download and 40 megabits a second upload. And that means that they can, when they upgrade the network to Doco's, I think 3.1, which is the underlying thing that they use for their modems, they should be able to increase that from that in the future. Probably, if the government will let them. But fibre to the premises, that's the one to go for, because that's our fibre all the way to the home. That's the fastest speed. But I think what I'm getting, if I ever get anything. Sniper Girl says, changes if you're on a ship with 300 people for 5 years and always out. I can imagine. I couldn't imagine being on one of those ships. They're the size of like a small town. They're huge. Some of the ships in the US Navy are massive ships. Andrew Lost says, I always joked around with my friends saying I would vote for Trump if he gave me faster internet. I don't think internet's even on Mr. Trump's radar. Sniper Girl says, tend to develop a hatred for the sea. I can imagine. Euro says, Android Lost, you should get a shirt that says I voted Trump for faster internet. And all I got was this lousy wall. What? Wall? That's very funny, Euro. I like that. So true. Oh, look, I'm not... It's not my business to criticise Mr. Trump. I live in Australia, not the United States. If I'm going to criticise politicians, I'm going to criticise mine. Believe me, the politicians in this country need criticising. They're all terrible. They're all terrible. Let's do a quick save here. Sniper Girl says, that would be great. Mind if I use it for the van? Sniper Girl says, could totally see that as a bumper sticker. Yes, it does. It's very funny. Very funny, Euro. I think we might leave it there though, guys. We will pick this up tomorrow. I'll just finish doing these. Max is still saving out. Doing the kit bash pieces here, and then we'll probably end up jumping into ZBrush tomorrow to do the stairs. But I do want to thank you guys and girls very much for being here and watching. I really do appreciate it. It was great to see all of you. I'll be back on again tomorrow at the usual time of 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. And then we'll pick up where we left off here. You guys and girls have a great night, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. See you guys.